Pokemon, a series that shaped my childhood and truly taught me valuable life lessons. My name, it's Kyle. And thinking back to when I was a kid, I remember the days walking around school with my Game Boy Advance, playing Pokemon Ruby and Fire Red. Man, I even remember a core memory of me under the slide trying to trade with one of my classmates and us both getting our systems taken away. And then my mom had to come pick it up at school. Ooh. It's a series that I hold near and dear to my heart, and I still love to this day. I still do classic run-throughs, classic playthroughs, and I even started the shiny hunt August 11th, 2022. Here's my first shiny, Froakie. Became addicted to shiny hunting starters, and got a lot more as well. Man, some of those shiny hunts were rough, but what a ride. So in today's video, it's me modding a Game Boy Advance with the shell of one of my favorite Pokemon ever. You guys know what it is, right? Bulbasaur. No, it's Squirtle. Just kidding. It's actually Charmander, the first Pokemon I ever stepped out with and onto a journey with. So it's only right I got a shell with him on it. I struggled a lot with this mod kit, and did I even do it right? I doubt it, but stay tuned and find out. The disassembly of the OEM shell was really easy and right to the point, but it's always easier taking things apart. It's putting it back together that's the tricky part. But once you take out the 6 tri-wing screws and the 1 Phillips screw underneath the batteries, the back cover should just come off. Set the L and R and the side buttons to the side, and that just leaves the 2 or 3 motherboard Phillips screws to undo. Be careful to unattach the ribbon cable by sliding the 2 notches upwards to unlock the ribbon cable. Then you should be good to take out the motherboard and give it a closer inspection. Here you want to wiggle the screen left and right to just pop it out of place. It should come out relatively easy. After looking at the board, there was a lot of grimer and muck on the board, so I grabbed my soft brush or toothbrush and 99% isopropyl alcohol and a Q-tip to the side to give it a nice clean rain dance and make sure the contacts were about as clean as I could get them. Then I used my Clean Boy, and oh boy, it was super effective. Oh my, there she is, the perfect GBA shell. Here I stick on the insulating film to the back of the screen just to make sure I don't get any shortages. Then I begin to add a little bit of solder and flux to the ribbon cable for select L and R to control the screen's brightness. Once the soldering's done, I grab a razor knife and cut off the small little notches in where the screen goes, because I want to use my own little inserts that it came with to hold down the screen. Here you put the sticky adhesive on, make sure you have it all in place, and then pop out the top of it. But I did it backwards and forgot to take off the stickers, so like I said, bear with me. This is a pretty key part. You want to make sure you have your little Lego piece connected before you put the screen on, because it's a whole lot harder to actually connect it once it's on the sticky adhesive. And right here is where I made my first mistake. I put the screen down onto the sticky holder thingamabob and forgot to take off the screen protector. Thankfully, I was able to remedy this and fix it later down the line. But, just as a reminder, try not to forget this next time, Kyle. And then you want to solder the select button to TP2 on the motherboard. That's TP2. And then here, you want to grab your buttons and start to insert all your buttons where they belong. A on the outside, B on the inside. After you have all the buttons in place, then you want to stick on the silicone pads. Then I realized I had a faulty speaker, and here's me trying to get off the speaker with my soldering iron and installing the new funny playing one. As you can see, I struggled with the L and R button for a while. They're a little harder to get, but once you get them in the right groove, you'll see that they snap on and then they click in place. It's just finding that sweet spot that was pretty rough for me. Okay, here's the part in the video where I gotta come clean that I had to swap out the motherboard for a new motherboard because of the ribbon cable connector. I think it just completely fried out. It wasn't reading any of the screens I had, so I had to run to my local gaming store to buy another Game Boy Advance and use that motherboard, but we got the job done. After putting in the 6 tri-wing screws again and getting everything locked down in place with my hand, turning it on to make sure it works, I grab the stickers and add on the final freaking touch. Of course, the second sticker would give me a little bit of a harder time than the other one would, but you know, that's just life. Wow, does that look good? After spraying thing up, making sure you're cleaning the screen. I mean, you have to try out the Game Boy Advance with None other than Fire Red. After testing it out and naming my Charmander something you should do, it got me thinking. I love this shell, and I love the can of starters. Huh. And my rival just picked that Pokemon. What shell should I do next?
Would you like to come along with us, Squirtle? Squirtle,